I do know, that I was blind, but now I can see. John 9:24-25. Unwilling to leave the matter at that, the Pharisees continue. What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? The man shows some courage in replying. I told you already, and yet you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? You do not want to become his disciples also, do you? Enraged, the Pharisees charge. You are a disciple of that man, but we are disciples of Moses. We know that God has spoken to Moses, but as for this man, we do not know where he is from. John 9:26-29. Expressing wonderment, the beggar comments. This is certainly amazing, that you do not know where he is from, and yet he opened my eyes. The man then makes a logical argument as to whom God hears and approves. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he listens to that one. From of old it has never been heard that anyone opened the eyes of one born blind. This leads to the conclusion. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing at all. John 9:30-33. Unable to refute the beggar's reasoning, the Pharisees revile him, saying, You were altogether born in sin, and yet are you teaching us? They throw him out. John 9:34. When Jesus hears what happened, he finds the man and asks, Are you putting faith in the Son of Man? The healed man responds, And who is he, sir, so that I may put faith in him? Leaving no doubt, Jesus says, You have seen him, and in fact, he is the one speaking with you. John 9:35-37. The man replies, I too put faith in him, Lord. Showing faith and respect, the man bows down before Jesus, who makes a profound statement. For this judgment I came into this world, that those not seeing might see and those seeing might become blind. John 9:38-39. The Pharisees, who happen to be there, know that they are not sightless. But what of their presumed role as spiritual guides? They ask defensively. We are not blind also, are we? Jesus says, If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, we see. Your sin remains. John 9:40-41. Had they not been teachers in Israel, rejecting Jesus as the Messiah might be understandable. But with their knowledge of the Lord, their rejection of him is a serious sin. Pharisees confront the man who was blind. John 9:19-41-168. Pharisees confront the once blind man. Religious leaders are blind. Why are the parents of the once blind beggar afraid when they are called before the Pharisees, and how do they answer? The Pharisees become enraged at what logical argument? Why do the Pharisees have no excuse for opposing Jesus? 71-169. It is now late in the year 32 CE, about 3 years since Jesus' baptism. He and his disciples recently were at the Festival of Tabernacles in Jerusalem. They likely are still nearby? Luke 10:38. John 11:1. In fact, Jesus spends most of the remaining 6 months of his ministry in Judea or across the Jordan River in the district of Perea. Preaching is needed in these areas too. Earlier, after the Passover of 30 CE, Jesus spent some months preaching in Judea and traveling through Samaria. Then about the time of the Passover of 31 CE, Jews in Jerusalem tried to kill him. For the next year and a half, Jesus taught mainly up north, in Galilee. During that time, many became his followers. In Galilee, Jesus trained his apostles and then sent them out with instruction. Preach, saying, The kingdom of the heavens has drawn near. Matthew 10:5-7. Now he organizes a witnessing campaign in Judea. To start this campaign, Jesus chooses 70 disciples and sends them out by twos. Thus, there are 35 teams of kingdom preachers in the territory, where the harvest is great, but the workers are few. Luke 10:2. They are to go in advance into places where Jesus might follow. The 70 are to cure the sick and spread the same message that Jesus has been proclaiming. These disciples are not to focus on teaching in synagogue